Welcome everyone. My name is Mariana Yerby and I'm the Associate Director of Career and Professional Development. I work in the Manhattan campus, but now, of course, we're working virtually. I hope to be back in January. And we also have Sam Karpilov on our team. She's a career advisor as well, and she's mostly in the Dobbs Ferry campus. And we have, of course, Professor Hartman and Dean West, who are here as great resources for you. So please feel free to ask questions as well. The students, feel free to put them in the chat or just basically unmute yourself. It's a small enough group so we can just answer your questions right as it happens. I'm going to share my deck. And Sam, can you confirm that you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Super. All right. So as I said, we're going to go over what can you do with a major in Spanish or English besides teaching. So of course that is I guess the most obvious route, but there's many other things you could be thinking about doing with these great majors. So I want to make sure that we know, we tell you what those opportunities are, well, some of those, and you know the tools to actually make those decisions as well. All right. So again, what can you do with these majors besides teaching? We're going to go through two of our main tools in career. One is Focus 2, which you probably have heard about before. It's a self-assessment tool, but it has another section, which is careers in different fields, and Candid Career, which is a new tool. And it's really, think of it like informational interviews. You're going to be hearing from people in different fields who are actually working in the field right now. So it's a really cool resource, and we're going to go through that. Then we're just going to go through the basic career resources, which we talk about all the time so that you don't forget that these are available to you as well and how they can benefit you, and then Q&A. So this we don't, well, I guess let's do the poll, but it's a small enough group that we can just ask it too. But I want to get a sense of who in the room is taking English and Spanish as a major or minor. If you can answer that, I'll give you a few seconds. Do you see the poll, Sam? Yep, perfect.
Yep, see it.
Super. All right, so pretty even split. Great. So we got somebody from everywhere. I'm going to share the results. So we're 50-50 in major minor. I love it. This is a great group. So as you can see, okay, you're in the right session then. If you answered those questions, great split. So we're going to get to it. Focus 2. So if you've heard about it before, it's probably the self-assessment feature where you can take these tests and kind of, it gives you a result based on a psychological theory of personality based on careers. So that's great, and we recommend you do that. But in addition to that, it also has these resources that you can literally just look at what can you do with a major in Spanish, and it tells you, it gives you a list. It is not an exhaustive list. Of course, there's many other things you could be doing, but it gives you really concrete ideas where you can start looking into different opportunities. And then Candid Career videos, which, as I said before, it's like an informational interview. You literally just pick majors, and then you see people who are working in different fields with these majors. So I'm going to give you a quick video on both of those. And everything that I'm talking about can be accessed through our website, which is shown at the bottom. Everything goes from there. And you can access everything. It's all single sign-on. So if you know your Mercy Connect username and password, you can access everything.
Marielle, I just want to let you know there's a black box at the bottom of your screen that's preventing us from seeing what's down there. I think it's because of the screen share.
All right. How am I going to get rid of that? Let's see.
It's a small black box.
A whole black box. Okay, cool. Do you see English major, and then what can I do with a major in?
Yeah.
Or do you see the focus? Okay, the bottom doesn't matter. I'll share the deck. It just says career.mercy.edu, and it's written in the slides anyway. That's the whole thing at the bottom. It's just a runner saying everything can be accessed on career.mercy.edu. So you're going to have to trust me. So here we go. The English major. I'm going to go through this sample first. So this is again on Focus 2. And hopefully it'll take me there. Let's see. English. 1 second. Let's see. Where did it go? 1 second. Where it went. Give me a second. All right, let's see if that works. Okay. Sorry. All right. Do you guys see what can I do with a major in English? Now it's the
Yes.
website. Okay, thanks, Anne. So from from Focus 2, I'll tell you where this section is actually. If you go through your home page, this is what it will look like in Focus 2, your landing page, and you see all the options of, again, your self-assessment tools, which we recommend you take them all. They're fun to complete, and they're really a good starting point to start thinking again about your interest, your skills, and how that all matches or helps you with the career decisions. So then in addition to the self-assessment, that's all at the top, we'll go through explore the possibilities. And this is what I find is really useful for this kind of conversation. So what can I do if I majored in XYZ, or what can I do with a major in XYZ offered at Mercy College? So let's go there. What can I do with a major in XYZ? So I've already saved our majors, but you can look through all of them, or you can just find the one you want. So let's go through English first. So what can I do with a major in English? And this is the list I was talking about. So here are some of the actual titles, which are, the research comes from the occupational handbook, and this is all updated every year with different mean salaries, different outlooks. And so we can start looking at these. So broadcast news analyst, copywriter. I mean, some of these jobs you may already have in mind. Some of these you may not even knew they existed or they were possible with a major in starting from English. So high school teachers you probably know about. Librarian you may have an idea about. But then there's so many others, right, that you may not have a clue that they could have come from English. Scientific linguist, screenwriter. This is kind of fun. Let's go into that. Screenwriter. So it gives you a description, an overview, job tasks. It's really detailed. It's actually way more detailed than you probably want it to be. Work interest. So if you've already completed your work interest form, it gives you how you fare off compared to actual screenwriters who took the same assessment. So your bar is going to be the blue one, and somebody who is in the screenwriter role is going to be the red bar. So to kind of give you a match, it's not perfect, of course, math, but it gives you a sense of how people in these roles fill out the same assessment that you did. Skills, what kind of skills you need or are required, your values. Again, as I tell you, it's way more than you probably want. How much time you're going to be sitting, working inside, just so get a real sense of what it is to be a screenwriter. And the outlook, is it projected to grow or stay the same? This every 10 years, this is updated. Earnings. Again, this is from the Department of Labor, so this is pretty accurate, and you can select your average earnings by your state, the state where you're going to be working in, and professional associations. So it's really comprehensive. It's a really good starting point if you're thinking about different jobs. The same, I'm already going to go back to Spanish because it's in the same section. So I'm going to show you the ones for Spanish. Let's see. So these are all the majors. So I'm going to look at Spanish. Found some really cool ones. That again, the first one, I didn't have a clue that this would have been possible with a Spanish, coming from a Spanish major. Anti-terrorism intelligence agent, I would have never guessed that. Area and cultural studies professor, palliative guest, clergy member, customs, daycare, I would have guessed. But hopefully this opens your mind and makes you think about your major more broadly, not just I have to be a teacher because I studied XYZ. Flight attendant, well, maybe not right now. But let's look at one of these. Anti-terrorism intelligence agent. So again, the main description, the tasks, work interest profile. So I wouldn't be a great match for this. I'm really far off in all the bars almost. Skills, values, work conditions. Okay, the whole thing. And then let's see at the bottom if it gives us, so the outlook and the earnings. I feel like this is very important. We don't want to be in a job that's declining and that's projected to decline, of course. And you want to make sure that you know what the earnings, the average earnings are in your state. So you get a sense of what you're getting into. And professional associations where you can explore more and take it further. Okay, back to our deck. See, Sam, are we back on the deck also? In the share?
Yes, we are.
Great. Okay, so that's the first one. Focus 2, what can I do with a major in Spanish or English? You get your listing and it's really comprehensive and it all comes from, again, trusted sources, Bureau of Labor Statistics and ONET. So these are great places to get the information from. The second tool we want to talk about is Candid Career. And this is what I said earlier. It's like an informational interview. You select professionals from different majors. So you don't know what kind of jobs you're going to have. You just select the major. Again, it's all through our website, through access everything through career.mercy.edu. And I'm going to give you one, I guess I can give you one example, English or Spanish. I'm going to give you the English one. I like his story. So I'm going to show you, hopefully you can see, 1 second. Let's get this guy talking about his major. And what I like about it is that you don't know the job title before you hear them.
My name is Luke Bell. I'm a marketing communications specialist for an architecture firm in Indianapolis. So I work within the marketing department, supporting in various ways, but my primary role is writing. I was an English major in school. I chose that not only because I enjoyed it, but also because I was good at it. And so my day-to-day is a lot of writing, primarily writing, but I help out in other ways too. I do some graphic design. Now that I've been there a little bit, learned the ropes and stuff, I'm involved in some like overall marketing strategy for the firm. And yeah, so I work as part of a team. I write articles for publication. So different trends within the industry, what people are thinking about. I write articles or pitch them to magazines beforehand, but then write them and we publish them. That's my favorite part of it. Also a lot of internal writing. I actually manage our social media too, which is a lot of fun. I enjoy that. Proposals. I write cover letters, proposals to get us work. Yeah, all sorts of different writing. One example is we have what we call thought leaders within our firm, which are the senior architects that are thinking about trends.
All right, I'm going to stop it because he goes on for a little bit. But the goal is, well, the idea is that you hear from different people who are working in fields stemming from your majors. So this is an example from English. And again, as you see, his title is marketing, and I don't know what else because I also see the black bar now. But marketing specialist, I guess was his name. So it tells you more about what it's like to work in that field. And what you heard from him is mostly he's doing writing, right? So this is something typical from an English major. He's good at writing. He likes it. But what do you do besides, what you think I have to be a writer? Well, yes, but where? These are the opportunities that are, endless, and you can apply your skills really everywhere. So this is an example of that. The same is for this Spanish major who's now working in strategy. And I'll just play the first few minutes because of course it's long too, but so you get a sense of where her interests took her interests and her skills. 1 second. Go away. Here. Sorry. Sam, do you
communities
see
to support
Yes,
them
it is
in
there.
this? Okay, the Spanish
their
major.
priorities for conserving natural resources and lands and waters
Sorry, one sec.
that they have access to. What that looks like for me.
Sorry.
My name is Allison Martin, and I work for the Nature Conservancy, which is an environmental nonprofit. My team specifically works in partnership with Indigenous peoples and local communities to support them in their priorities for conserving natural resources and lands and waters that they have access to. What that looks like for me personally is I have a strong link with our Latin America program. So I focus a lot on our work in Brazil. I was living there for a little bit, embedded with the team. In order to be a better global partner, I help them with strategic planning, with project management related to their work on the ground. Another aspect of my work, I'm focused on gender equity and integration and supporting our programs to work on that within a culturally appropriate context. It's not.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there too. Sorry, I'm going to go back to the deck, but you see how their pathways are so diverse and they're all coming from either Spanish or English. Nature Conservancy, the other guy was working in marketing. So it really is, you can go everywhere. And I'm sure you've heard this before. It's kind of a cliche, but you really can. It depends on really what you're interested in and the skills that you are developing. So this hopefully shows you the different paths. And again, neither one of these tools is exhaustive. There's many different combinations of things you could do, but the skills you have are skills you're going to be able to take in any field, really. So this hopefully helps you open your mind to different opportunities and hear from people who are already working in these positions. We're going to finish off with our resources. So in addition to these two tools, Candid Careers and Focus 2, of course, we have resume and cover letter guides. We can help you with that. We can help you with interview prep. All the main blocks of career, we will, of course, help you with. Handshake is our job and internship database. If you don't know about it yet, you should really be exploring it because we want you to not just research all these great possible careers, but get experience and as many as you can through internships, through part-time jobs, through any experience where you can actually get a taste of what it's like and what it feels like for you. And participate in as many events as you can, career events. We have employers doing information sessions like this, virtual information sessions. We have a career fair in the spring, a virtual career fair. We have different workshops. So try to participate in as many things as you can to really get a sense of if you're making the right decision, if you're on the right track, or where else you could be applying your skills and interests. So the recap, do your research, use our tools and our services. We do not want you Googling these things. We don't want you going off of, what you heard, what your uncle said, who was working where, and they did great. That is their story. We want you to make these decisions based on what is right for you and where you're actually going to be happy and use your skills and be somewhere where it's interesting to you. Look for internships and relevant work experience and attend our career events. We can help you through all of this. You just have to email us, reach out. We can start working wherever you are. If you're graduating or if you just started or if you're changing, wherever you are, we can help you. Don't do it alone. There are many exciting things, but we'll help you find your way. So with that, I'll open it up for questions. And if anyone wants to say something, Professor Hartman, Dean, anyone? Open.
Sure. I can add something, but maybe the students have a question first.
Let's see the chat. Feel free to ask. This is for you. So Diana and Janae, what are your majors? Is it both English and Spanish? I know it was 50-50 split. Does anyone want to share?
Hi, I'm Janae. I'm an English major, and I kind of prefer a lot of creativity. Like I really found it interesting when you were talking about the screenwriting because I really like creative writing. So I was just thinking that that's a possible career path.
definitely, Janae. So we can talk about it further. You know, we can set up a meeting, but maybe we can start with an internship or something where you can get a sense of what that would feel like for you in the, you know, in the work world, and getting that experience, right? Even if you don't like it and you think I want to get away from this now, you have the experience and you have the certainty that you tried it, and it's not just an idea in your mind anymore. So feel free to reach out, Janae. Our email, we'll put it in the chat, but we'd love to talk to you more about what you're interested in. And Diana, do you want to share about your career and your ideas? Otherwise, Professor, you can go ahead.
Sure.
I'm Diana, Spanish major. I'm kind of open to anything, just kind of exploring anything. Yeah, I'm open to anything.
Terrific. Well, good. Well, Diana, what I would suggest is that we actually get a phone call in, and I can talk to you a little bit further about what it is you're interested in. And what year are you, Diana? Are you a freshman, sophomore, junior?
Kind of starting off with this.
Okay.
So
Perfect. So I tell you what, why don't you send me an email today, and you know, we'll find a time to speak and we can find out more about your own personal interests and what maybe is good for you. Aside from that, for the purpose, you know, your purpose, Diana, as well as the purpose of this recording, and you, Janae, I think there are a couple of things that might be helpful to note about the Spanish major or minor. I've written a couple of points here, which I've shared in the past in other venues. You know, one, not just bettering one's fluency per se, but also really gaining a fluency, being able to speak and write Spanish on a professional level, not just a heritage or native speaker, which is generally speaking not truly bilingual, even though people think they are. You know, they say, well, I'm fluent in 2 languages, and then their business or organization asks them to type something up in Spanish, and it's full of errors. And so that's not really you're not really professionally capable of employing your skills unless you really hone them in. And the best way to do it is to really study it and tease these things out. And a Spanish major or minor does that. It also helps students grow in cultural literacy. So many people who are heritage or native speakers of Spanish who have not studied maybe, you know, history in the Spanish-speaking world, culture in the Spanish-speaking world, literature of the Spanish-speaking world, they're really not able to truly be these ambassadors of culture. They're not able to really enrich their workplace or enrich someplace else where they find themselves with the same level of confidence or authority or wisdom that they will once they've really focused on studying these things with at least 5 courses in Spanish, which is a minor, or 10 or more in Spanish. In Mercy College, we also have a new TESOL program teaching English to students of other language. That's a 5-year program. And so, Diana, if you're just starting out, students like you, if not you per se, could finish in 5 years the BA in Spanish as well as the MA in TESOL. And so then you'll graduate and you'll have all kinds of credentials needed, all the credentials needed to be a TESOL teacher, and you'll have a profession. It'll be an applied degree. We also have internships in the Spanish program, which I created some years ago. One is the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, another is the Hispanic Society of America. And the Hispanic Society of America, for those of you interested in looking it up, it's on West 155th Street. It's one of the most prestigious institutions for higher culture in the Spanish-speaking world. It was founded by, surname Huntington. Mr. Huntington, the first name is escaping me for the purpose today. But he, you know, and he founded it in the mid-1800s, and it is a very storied and important institution. All great writers that have come to New York from the Spanish-speaking world have funneled through there. It's just terrific. And we had a student, Nadisha Padilla Cruz, who had that internship in 2017, and then in 2018 she was accepted immediately into the PhD program at SUNY Albany from our Spanish major, which is not very common, and it is an indicator that we're doing something right. We also have terrific study abroad programs, especially in Spain, as well as in Latin America, for students interested in going abroad. And now that we have a vaccine, we can certainly plan for the future in a pragmatic way. And our alumni, like I mentioned, who went into the SUNY PhD program, at the moment, we have 2 students studying a PhD in Spanish, fully funded, so they're not paying for any of it. They get paid for teaching assistantship, one at the University of Virginia, another at SUNY Albany. We have also 2 students in master's programs in Spanish, one at University of Connecticut Stores, the other at University of Kansas. One graduated this past May, another one 2 Mays ago, and they too are fully funded. They have teaching assistantships, they're not paying a dime. In fact, they're earning a small salary while also getting teaching experience at these institutions, while also finishing the master's degrees. And so there are all kinds of things that we can do here at Mercy, and I will work with you personally to make sure that you plan for the future in a way that assures you success. Another thing to note is the humanities in general, right, which includes Spanish and English. Why on earth would somebody say, well, it's important just to study these fields? Well, it's because it opens your mind. It allows you to really see the world in a new way. It allows you a kind of a gift of imagination, which people who only study applied degrees or applied fields sometimes miss out on. And so when I was an undergraduate, one of the things that at that time they told us was that there were more CEOs in New York City with degrees in humanities than there were with degrees in applied degrees. And the reason being is that CEOs, people who really need to be at the helm of organizations, these are people who need to be very creative, like what you said, Janae. They need to have a vision, almost an artistic vision, not just for how to create art on a canvas or on a page or something like this, but really to make a work of art out of the organization for which you're working, to really look creatively and help to channel your energy and the energy of the business for which you're working towards a whole new future. And that's something that a lot of people really don't have the skills for. But in the humanities, by thinking about art, history, culture, literature, on double entendre and nuance and all of these things, that really arms students to go forward into these worlds. And one of the things that I think is important to note, Mariana came up with a terrific slideshow about what starting salaries are and all of these other things. But I think it's important to note that they are starting salaries. And so, that's where you start. And from there, presumably over the course of your career, you'll go up exponentially based on your talents and skills. And so if you're more talented and more skilled than your competitor, it is logical, and one may deduce, that you will go ahead and earn that higher salary. The highest salary that I saw and what Mariana pulled up was working in the foreign office and for the Department of State, and I think that was $200,000 a year or something along those lines. And, I have a cousin who right now is working for the Department of State, and she's in Mexico. And she has 2 children and her husband, and they're there, and she's doing all kinds of great things with the government, and it is fascinating. She loves being abroad. Before that, she was working in different NGOs, basically, not-for-profit organizations, and she really found her niche here, and she just loves it. She employs her Spanish-speaking skills, which she learned. She's not a native or heritage speaker. And she's doing all kinds of really great things, and she goes across the world. And the Department of State is literally in every country around the world. And there's something like 24 countries around this world that speak Spanish, including Equatorial Guinea and Africa. Parts of the Philippines speak Spanish. The United States is actually the 2nd largest Spanish-speaking country on earth. And so, as a former student of mine remembered that I had told her about 13 years ago, I tell you, the world is your oyster, and it really is through these majors, something that you can go ahead and access. You're not pigeonholed into something, it's not an applied degree program where then if you don't like the field that you're working in, you've got to start all over. And so that's what I've got to offer. Diana, I hope to be in touch with you as well as anybody else watching the recording. I'm very pleased to get on the phone with you in person and speak further with you. And you too, Janae, even though you're an English major, I'm glad to work with you if you need. Otherwise, I can point you into the right direction for the folks in the English department, English program.
Thank you so much, Professor. Anyone else? Any comments, questions, anything you want to add?
I would just reiterate what's been said. We have an incredible support structure here, both including our faculty like Professor Hartman and the Career Services Office. So I encourage you to take full advantage. This is a great moment to start thinking a little bit about the skills and knowledge you're developing in your classes and the other co-curricular activities that you're doing and how they start to apply out in the world. It's actually one of the really fun things about both being in college and also those first years out of college. You start to realize once you get in that first work environment, the value that your skills have, what makes you unique, and the more that you can do while you're at college to begin to make that mapping, I think the better positioned you'll be as you move out into the world. So you have some great resources, including the folks that are here today.
Thank you. All right. Well, if anyone has something else to say, you got your last chance. Otherwise, we'll close it. But you have our contact information in the chat. So I'll leave it up a few more minutes, but you can leave if you're done. And thank you so much for joining us, Professor Hartman, Dean West, Sam. Thank you so much. And the students, please reach out to us. You have us now, so we can work together and tell all your friends. We want you to make decisions again based on what is true for you, and not just because you heard something or somebody told you or somehow you got into this. But we really want you to succeed, and we have all the tools here to help you along. So please reach out. Thank you so much. I'll talk
Thank
to
you.
everyone later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.